Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I formally declare open this council meeting of the Colac Otway Shire on the 24th of February 2026. I'll start with the opening prayer. Almighty God, we seek your blessing and guidance in our deliberations on behalf of the people of the Colac Otway Shire. Enable this council's decisions to be those that contribute to the true welfare and betterment of our community. Amen. I'd like to start this afternoon by acknowledging the traditional custodians and lawmakers of this land, their elders past and present. Please be advised that this meeting is recorded and live streamed with the exception of confidential matters. This includes the public participation sections of meetings. The live stream recordings of this afternoon's meeting will be available on the website as soon as practicable. By participating in open meetings, individuals consent to the use and disclosure of the information they share at the meeting, including any personal and or sensitive information. I note that all councillors are present. Move on to 3.3, the confirmation of minutes. I propose that we move to confirm the minutes of the council meeting held on the 10th of February 2026. Do I have a mover? Councillor Hudgell. Do I have a seconder? Councillor McCrickard. We have a motion before us, councillors. We'll put it to a vote. All those in favour? Councillor Potter, Councillor Buchanan, Councillor Dew, Councillor McCrickard, Councillor Hudgell, Councillor Howard, Councillor Shrams, carried 7-0. Thanks, councillors. Declarations of interest, are there any? There are none. I now move on to question time. Question time is an opportunity to ask questions of council in a respectful manner. Please extend due courtesy to councillors and officers when addressing council in this meeting. We reserve the right to disallow questions that breach our governance rules. 30 minutes is allowed for question time at council meetings. Community members wishing to ask questions of council by video conference were requested to register their intention before 5 p.m. on Friday the 20th of February 2026. No requests were received. Council has received questions in writing from Catherine Mariner. These questions will be read out and a response will be provided by the relevant member of the Executive Management Team. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Mrs Mariner submitted a question to Council for the 10th of February meeting. Mrs Mariner has posed the same question again, stating that she's still awaiting a full response to all the questions raised, and that question was, how long does a ratepayer have to wait to receive a written response to an email submitted to Council? And the response is that, as advised previously, Council seeks to respond in writing to any written correspondence received within 10 business days, and that includes email correspondence. In addition to the first question, Ms Mariner has submitted the following, and that is that considering you've mentioned at the last council session that I should receive a written response within 10 working days, and I've now been waiting more than 12 weeks, can you please advise me what the next step is to get an answer to my email? Council sincerely apologises for the time that it's taken to respond in full to the question. I understand that a response has been sent prior to today's meeting and hope that this answers your queries. We've registered your question as a complaint under Council's complaints policy and will investigate the circumstance of the issue to determine what learnings can be achieved to support a more prompt response in the future.
Thank you. That concludes our written questions for today. We'll move on to questions from the gallery. In accordance with our governance rules, we've sought registration for questions. First, we have Prabha Cuddy. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor, I received your response but no clarification regarding the reasons for Council's decision on its governance rules. So I don't want to go through all the items that I'd sent forward, but to take one example, why did Council recommend the new rule preventing citizens from asking questions at unscheduled meetings?
Can you
there
just
must be a reason
that,
for that, is what I'm after.
Can you just repeat
Council
that question?
made there was a recommendation or a new rule inserted that prevents citizens from asking questions at unscheduled meetings. What purpose does that serve? Why have you put that in, and how does it benefit the community?
Sorry. Yeah, I'll throw to the CEO for a response. Thank you.
Some of the thinking behind, I can't speak for why the decision was made, why councillors ultimately made the decision, but the thinking behind that is the unscheduled meetings are normally put in place for a specific reason and to get that dealt with. So at those meetings, there are other opportunities at the scheduled meetings and more than adequate opportunity for the community to ask questions at the scheduled meetings within that month.
Well, may I say, Andrew, that I'm surprised that you are answering that question, because this decision was taken by councillors. Surely it is their reasoning that decides how and why a particular rule is adopted.
Yep.
So could one of the councillors please tell me, I mean, you must have, as I understand from the mayor, you received expert advice, or some, the best advice that you should put these rules in place. So
Yeah.
what was that best advice? Why did they say that this is important to have? And how does it serve the community's interest for them to be gagged on these
Thanks,
special
Mr.
meetings?
Cuddy. No one's been gagged. This isn't a space for public debate. You've asked
Sure.
a question. It has been answered. All the meetings are live recorded, public meeting, and the decisions were made by councillors and voted for at a public forum. I suggest if you want more clarity to go back and have a look at that meeting.
I have looked at the meeting.
Okay?
The
and like I've
debate
said,
was
this isn't
minimal.
a forum for public debate. I'm not going to get into a debate.
So
You
no,
have
I
another
don't-
question.
Mayor, I don't want a debate. I just want a reason. The reason should be pretty straightforward. We
Thank
think
you. And
the
like you
public
said,
asking
I've
questions is
responded
going to disrupt
to
the
your-
proceedings.
Email those reasons.
So it doesn't give any reason. It just says, I took the best advice and in the interest of the community.
That's
That's
right,
not a reason. And
after
you are-
public submissions.
So you are aware that under the community's engagement policy of our council itself, and in according to the Act, that you've got to give, not only your decision should be clear, but the reasons should be clear so that people understand why you've taken a decision. So this is pretty straightforward. I mean, I don't know why it's so complex.
It's not
It is a-
complex, and we've answered your question as best we can. Do you have another question?
So you have still not answered the question.
thank
Are
you.
you refusing
We've-
to answer it? Or?
Yes, no, it's been answered, and I'll ask you to take your seat so other people can have their go. Thank you.
Okay, may I just add?
Thank you. Mr. Tony Webber, thank you.
This is a question I've asked a number of times about traffic on the Ocean Road looking at koalas. It's getting worse. There were 2 buses parked on the sides of the road, which meant that the traffic was down to 1 lane. A lady came along and thought there was an accident, and it wasn't. The people were out looking at koalas. So she approached the bus driver who was blocking the Ocean Road, and he said, we're blocking it so people can take photos of the koalas. She asked him the name of the bus line and he walked away. Now, where the lookout is, just down the road from where I live, it's getting worse because bus drivers are having to pull people off the road before a car hits them. Now, I've asked on a number of occasions if we can approach Vic roads and get the speed limit reduced to 80 kilometres an hour. There's a 3-kilometre section there that is 100 kilometres an hour, which is confusing for everyone. So can I ask if there's any progress on that?
I'll throw to Doug. Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor. Certainly we've raised it with DTP, the Department of Transport and Planning, after you've raised it on a number of occasions. I know that the CEO and myself are meeting with senior members of DTP in the coming month. We can certainly raise this issue with them and highlight the need for there to be some action taken.
That'd be good, before someone's killed or injured, because that might be the only time then that something is done. Hopefully we don't have to wait for that. The second question is on property that people have bought that refuse to have animals on it, grazing animals, and the grass is getting up to the top of the fence, and now we're getting regular dry lightning. This could be a serious fire caused by people not grazing land that they own. Mr Phil Kennan has communicated, I think, with the Shire about this. One of his neighbours is doing this. So can anything be done about this before we have a serious fire caused by dry lightning?
Yep, thanks, Mr McNeil.
Through you, Mayor. Certainly if that issue's already been raised with council, someone in our fire prevention department will be going out and inspecting it and take appropriate action if necessary. We've got quite a thorough program of inspecting properties at this time of year to make sure that people are keeping grass down, but if there are circumstances like this where that's not the case, we're happy to follow it up. So I'll certainly follow it up from you raising it today.
Right, and have you received correspondence from Mr Kennan?
I'll follow that up for you after the meeting. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Mr Weber. Elizabeth Ryan, thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak. It's in regards to item 8.1 on the agenda regarding the update on road safety improvements at Cons Lane, Birregurra. The council need to realise that these works need to be done now, yesterday. One has to factor in the massive increase in traffic due to the Labor Day long weekend, Easter, the school holidays and our gravel truck peak season utilising Cons Lane and the Cape Otway Road. I would also like to ask that council please consider implementing these road safety upgrades within the coming month.
Doug, thanks.
Through you, Mayor. Certainly, excuse me, the report today does seek council approval to allocate funding for those works. If council resolves to do that, then our staff will certainly be seeking to implement those changes as soon as we can. They won't be in place over the next few weeks, but we'll certainly be doing everything we can to do that over the coming month or two.
My second question relates to the previous meeting where I had submitted three questions, sorry. I'd like to know in the minutes there's an abridged version or very minimal version of what I actually submitted, and I would like to know, my question is, do councillors receive a full copy of my questions in writing?
Yes, we do. And if you want an explanation on the version.
So under the governance rules, it was introduced that there was the ability to summarise part of the preface of questions so that it was easier or better for us to answer more directly, but when the question comes in, the full question, the unsummarised version, is provided to councillors along with the summarised version and the answer provided.
The question wasn't read out as the question, though.
It was
Not question 2 was not read out as question 2. The question was, could Colac Otway Shire investigate with community consultation the total revamp of the current model of funding and outsourcing of these key areas? The question that was read, was responded to, was could Council Colac Otway Shire investigate the improvements of council's after-hours service? Totally different question.
Look, I think we might have to take that on notice, and I'll get someone to catch up with you
Thank you.
and just get some clarity on that. I think, Elizabeth, if that's all right. Thanks. We have Mr. Judd has a question that I'll read it. I'll read it out for you. Do you want me to read it out for you, Mr. Judd? No?
Can the Colac Otway Shire Council now give a definite guarantee that a transition system to bring renewable electricity to Colac will actually exist prior to the start of the 4th year of a contract this council required a client to accept that they will only use renewable electricity from the start of year 4 of a contract that was prepared by this council, plus has been running for some time now since passed by council.
Mr. Surin, thank you.
Through you, Mayor, thanks for the question, Mr. Judd. I believe you're referencing the Lake Colac Holiday Park in terms of a lease. Would that be correct? I think we've answered this question a couple of times before about the requirement in the lease to use green energy, which the lessee are doing.
Thank you, Mr. Judd. Thanks, everyone. That concludes our question time for today. There are no petitions or joint letters. There are no planning or responsible authority decisions. So we move on to items for decision. 7.1, project budget adjustment and cash reserve transfers. Questions of officers? Councillor Howard, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just with the transfer of the funds from the for the light vehicle replacement, just wanted to question about the future of managing our fleet in general.
Thank you for the question. Through you, Mayor. Council has undertaken a review recently of its light fleet, and in the course of doing that review, we've looked at a number of recommendations to run that fleet more efficiently in future. It was recognised through the review that, but mainly due to the impacts of COVID and the difficulty of being able to purchase vehicles for a number of years in a timely way, that the council's light fleet had aged significantly, and particularly with some operational vehicles. What we're looking at proposing through today's resolution is seeking some further money being transferred from the reserve, which has been held for this purpose through funds that have been allocated over the last few years for fleet replacement to update council's vehicles. But certainly the review has made recommendations which should reduce the cost to council in future years of running its fleet.
Thank you. Councillor Potter.
Thanks, Mayor. Just in relation to Table 2 and the works on the fountain in the Botanic Gardens, there's reference to an organisation known as the Wade Foundation. I'm just wondering if you could tell us, summarise that foundation, their work with us, and whether there's an opportunity to perhaps thank them and then continue working with them if they have an interest in the gardens and can help out with further works.
Through you, Mayor, thanks for the question. It's certainly a good opportunity to call out that the council did receive close to $30,000 in funding from the Dawn Wade Foundation. It's a foundation that's been set up as a philanthropic exercise, and this was an amount of money council received in 2023. It's been good that we've been able to put it to a good purpose in upgrading some facilities at the Botanic Gardens. We've had some discussions with them about whether there might be some ongoing donations. There's no current proposals at this time, but we'll certainly keep those channels of communication open.
Thanks, Councillor Buchanan.
Thanks, Mayor. Just on the fountain, Doug, did a local contractor have to supplement the work of the contractor that done most of the work in finishing that off? Did that have to be picked up, a small amount of work in the finish, by a local contractor?
I'm not aware of that, Councillor, through you, Mayor. I'd have to take that on notice and come back to you.
Thank you. Any other questions? No, there's an officer recommendation in the report. Does anyone wish to move that as a motion? Councillor Howard, is it to be seconded? Councillor Potter. Councillor Howard as a mover. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr Mayor. Again, this is a report that is very transparent and shows the operations of councils, and council's role is to continue doing works during the year. We do have a budget, but sometimes things come up unpredictable. I don't think it's in all cases that you have to wait to the next budget, and therefore this is to show the public that we are deliberating appropriately when transferring funds. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Potter as the second. And no, any other councillor? No? We have a motion before us, councillors. We'll now put it to a vote. All those in favour? Councillor Potter, Councillor Buchanan, Councillor Dew, Councillor McCrickard, Councillor Hudgell, Councillor Howard, Councillor Stram. Motion is carried 7-0. Thank you, councillors. Now move on to 7.2, Colac Otway Shire Football Soccer Facilities Feasibility Study. Draft report, endorsement for public exhibition. Questions of officers? Are there any questions? So just to explain, what process have we been through to get to this point? What does this process mean for the public, and then where do we go from there?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for the question, Mayor. Council received some funding from the state government, which we matched, and engaged a consultant to come in and prepare this piece of work for us. It's undergone a lot of engagement already, particularly with the key stakeholders, including the Colac Otway Rovers, which are obviously our football club or soccer football club in Colac Otway. So there's been a lot of work done. Now we're asking council to put this on exhibition, the draft strategy, and we will do consultation with the broader community, but including the key stakeholders, get some feedback, and then bring a final report back to council for consideration.
Just what's some of the feedback that we're asking the public for when they read this?
Through you, Mayor. So there's some recommendations in the draft report around sort of short-term or interim solutions, plus a longer-term solution about a football hub at the former Colac High School site. So I guess we're really interested in the community's feedback on those interim solutions. We're proposing sort of no-cost or low-cost solutions to get the club or provide facilities for the club in the short term. But we're also interested in what the community thinks about a more major development at the former high school site.
Thank you. Any other questions? No. There's an officer recommendation in the report. Councillors, does anyone wish to move that as a motion? Councillor Potter, is it to be seconded? Councillor McCrickard, Councillor Potter is the mover. Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased to move this, Mayor. I won't talk too long to it. This is a very comprehensive strategic presentation about the potential future for football, being soccer, in this community. It's no secret that the Otway Rovers have done a really good job in providing the opportunity for people of all ages, in particular women as well, to play football in this shire. There's a bit of history of football having been played years ago, but we can all see over the recent years the increase in participation and support for soccer. What they lack, though, is a home. They lack the facilities, and they lack the opportunity to further grow and strengthen and become a big name in the football world. They're punching above their weight at the moment, and doing a great job. But council has supported AFL over the years, quite rightly. This is an opportunity where the community have turned to council and say, we need some support for football in this shire. It's a big ask when you look at the total figure of what we would like to assist Otway Rovers to achieve. But you have to aim high. You have to aim to provide the best facilities you can, because they'll serve the community for years and years. I'd be very interested in what people think about this, and as you've pointed out, Mayor, I encourage everyone to look at it and give us the feedback. In the short term, though, we are faced with, the Rovers are faced with the dilemma of not having a home, fragmentation of training and playing their games. I know they're doing some work at the Western Oval. I'm hoping officers can come up with a solution for them in the meantime, because we don't want to stymie the growth of football in the Shire, and without a home, that potentially could happen. I point out too that this is not just Otway Rovers and Council, Football Victoria. The state government committed money to do this feasibility study. They're supportive of looking forward to the future of football in the Shire. So it has broad support. We may have to compete with facilities in Geelong down the track, but we're an important regional centre. Country people shouldn't miss out on the ability to play the sport of their choice. So I'm hoping this will get some support long term, and encourage everyone to have a look at it.
Thanks, Councillor. Councillor McCrickard is the seconder.
Thank you, Mayor. Councillor Potter has hit the nail on the head. I never thought I would see the day where local AFL teams in the district are struggling for numbers, and our soccer or football is expanding so rapidly. There are more young people now playing soccer in this district than what they are playing under 18 football. So that says something about the popularity, and whilst this is an exciting plan, it is in the very formative stages at this point. But I urge all local sports people and parents, etc., to make a comment on this submission or exhibition, and give us an opportunity to look and see and feel what you think and feel, and so we can progress further. I just feel that soccer is now taking its rightful place, and it's very exciting for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Any other councillor? Councillor Howard.
Yeah, thank you, Mr Mayor. I find, even though it's called the Colac Otway Shire football facilities, I think the benefit across the whole Shire and across the region, if it comes to reality, that we can get the benefits from, and I'll be strongly advocating, if it comes to reality, that we look at ways to make sure participation is right across the Shire and right across the region to make it very successful. Also, I'd like to point it, so again, encourage everyone in the Shire to feedback, not just from the Colac district. And also, I just point out for my own sake, looks like we are going for the Rolls Royce, but that's fine. If we end up with the Ford Falcon or the Holden Commodore, I'll be happy with that too. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. Unfortunately, they don't make Commodores anymore. Councillor Buchanan.
One will be short and sweet, but I think that this decision made by council, it was supported by all the councillors as one of our major initiatives going back a few months ago, is absolutely special, because it takes us into the international arena. One of the biggest things that happened in years gone by was the Colac Football Club chose to shed their local affiliation with the Hampden League and go into the GFL, and it's been nothing but special for Colac. They've competed very, very well at that level. And I think to fit into this soccer world now, we've got two international football games, as rugby and soccer, and that's where we need to be to promote that sort of sport in our community. And I thank the councillors for all supporting this very, very well.
We'll soon see when it goes to a vote, Charlie. Any other councillor? No? No, it is a good thing. There's still another step to go, so this is just to go out to the community and seek their feedback, which we encourage. Then after that, council will listen to that feedback and then probably potentially try and endorse it. And when we get to that stage, we can sort of hit the ground running and look for money for, to future designs and those sort of things. And coming into an election year, sooner we can get this out and get it back and get it on our books as a project, it'll be fantastic. But people, we go out for a while, so I encourage people to put in and have their say on it. Have a good thorough read of it. There may be things that this council or the consultants have missed along the way, and so that's why we go out to talk to people and hear your feedback and your ideas, and certainly for that interim home of soccer, I'll call it soccer, I always have. That's what we really need the feedback on, and to keep people interested and keep the sport growing in our region. And Councillor Howard's right. It'll be a regionally Shire-wide facility, but not only that, it'll tie into the things we do with Geelong and G21 and the Surf Coast and things. So, have your say. Get back into us, and then hopefully we can progress this to the next stage. Thank you. Councillor Potter. No, and we have a motion before us. Councillors will now put it to a vote. All those in favour? Councillor Potter, Councillor Buchanan, Councillor Dews, Councillor McCrickard, Councillor Hudgell, Councillor Howard, Councillor Schramm. It's carried 7-0. Thanks, councillors. We'll now move on to item 7.3. The proposal to enter into a licence for the operation of the Colac Sale Yards Canteen. Questions of officers. Councillor Buchanan.
Thanks, Mayor. It's a good initiative to put this out to the expressions of interest. I suppose when we went out there and asked for expressions, is there a set of rules that come with, or terms of operation that comes with this contract?
Through you, Mayor, I'm just not sure of the question. If you
Operating days, can they operate outside the sale days? Can they operate to bring general public in there? Is there some flexibility in their terms of agreement to run the canteen?
I believe so. Yes.
There is a set of rules, or?
I believe that the licence, if issued, would allow them to operate more broadly than just the sale days. Yes.
Doug?
Thanks, councillor. Any other councillor? No. We have an officer recommendation in the report. Does anyone wish to move that as the motion? Councillor Buchanan, is it to be seconded? Councillor Hudgell. Councillor Buchanan is the mover. Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor. I think it's a good initiative, and it'll be something that'll help the sale yards into the future to try and rehabilitate the canteen area at the sale yards. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Hudgell is the seconder.
Thanks, Mayor. Yeah, as Councillor Buchanan did mention, the sale yards are more than just a place of business. They're a gathering point for our farming community, and it's a place where people can connect and sit down together and share a meal and a conversation, and it's a really important part of our rural life out there. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other councillor? Oh. We have a motion before us. Councillors will now put it to a vote. All those in favour? Councillor Buchanan, Councillor Dews, Councillor McCrickard, Councillor Hudgell, Councillor Howard, Councillor Schramm. All those against? Councillor Potter. Motion is carried 6-1. Thank you. Councillors, we'll now move on to item 8.1. Upgrade on road safety improvements at Cons Lane, Birregurra. Questions of officers? Are there any questions? Well, my only question is, if this is approved this afternoon, do you have an ETA?
Through you, Mayor, there has been already quotations undertaken, so our team should be able to implement the changes relatively quickly. It would definitely be in the next month or 2 months, but we'll be acting as quickly as we can to procure the works.
Thank you. Any other questions? No? An officer's... what do we have? An officer recommendation in the report. Does anyone wish to move that as a motion? Thanks, Councillor Howard. Is it to be seconded? Councillor Potter. Councillor Howard as a mover. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Mr Mayor. I'm very pleased it's come up and we're getting there. And I do recognise the work of Elizabeth Ryan to get it to this stage. And yeah, let's get on with it.
Thank you. Councillor Potter, seconder.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. Yeah, look, I think this is badly needed. There's been a call from Works to try and make this piece of road a lot safer. Regular accidents there. Another one I heard of last night. Didn't occur last night, but a couple of days ago at the north end. So it has been a while coming. We did seek to get some outside funding to help councillors offset the cost. We've been unsuccessful with that. I hope councillors will support allocating some money to get some road safety works done and hoping for a good result.
Thanks, Councillor. Any other councillor? No? No. With the motion before us, councillors will now put it to a vote. All those in favour, Councillor Potter, Councillor Buchanan, Councillor Dews, Councillor McCrico, Councillor Hudgell, Councillor Howard, Councillor Schramm. Motion is carried 7-0. Thanks, councillors. We'll move on to 8.2, the second quarter performance reporting, October to December 2025. Questions of officers. Councillor Howard.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Just on page 25 of the actual quarterly report, when it looks at the financial ratios and the VARGO targets, the renewal target is under, the renewal figure is under the VARGO target. Can an officer just explain that in a bit more detail? Thank you.
Thank you.
Through you, Mayor. Thanks, Councillor Howard. So the VARGO target is, and good practice would be, that you're funding 100% of your target for asset renewal. But in the tight fiscal environments that we've now got and the limited income that council has gotten and the availability of funding generally, most rural councils, I'd say, are travelling under that target at 100%. And I think we're doing pretty well at the moment, travelling at around 89%. And so through the budgeting process, we'll see that indicator move, but we try and keep it as far up towards that 100% as we can financially manage.
Thank you. Any other questions? Councillor Potter. Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor. Just in relation to the section headed people and section 245 in relation to our work with multicultural organisations and our traditional owners, says we continue to work on our reconciliation program through engagement with our owners. Could I just get a quick update as to how that is progressing and how our relationship's going?
Through you, Mayor. Yeah, so we've had a number of recent conversations with our traditional owner group, being Eastern Maar Aboriginal Corporation. We had scheduled an on-site or a meeting between the two executive groups for late January. Unfortunately, we had to reschedule that because of the fires that were happening at the time. So we're currently looking at rescheduling that for the next month or so.
That's great, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? No. We have an officer recommendation in the report. Councillors, does anyone wish to move that as a motion? Councillor Howard, is it to be seconded? Councillor Hudgell, Councillor Howard as a mover. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr Mayor. I encourage members of our public to read the document. It gives a good snapshot of council's performance, and especially in the financial area, the health of the council, the financial ratios, which I pointed out, asked a question about, give a really good snapshot of where we are. And all this information goes via our Audit and Risk Committee. As well, I think the other improvement in the report is about the capital works program, which gives us shows the public, we're trying to make sure that we catch up on works that that we approved previously, and make sure that the works that we approve now through the budget process are being monitored properly too. But it is a good read, and it's not a hard read, so I encourage members of the public to do it.
Thanks, Councillor. Councillor Hodgell is the seconder. All good. Any other councillor wish to speak? No. A motion before us, councillors. We'll now put it to a vote. All those in favour? Councillor Potter, Councillor Buchanan, Councillor Douche, Councillor McCrickard, Councillor Hodgell, Councillor Howard, Councillor Schramm. Motion is carried 7-0. We'll now move on to 8.3, the Governance Report Monthly. Questions of officers. No. We have an officer recommendation in the report, councillors. Does anyone wish to move that as a motion? Councillor Howard. Is it to be seconded? Councillor Potter. Councillor Howard as the mover.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Again, another report just about the transparency of councils and what we're doing. I think, again, if the public wants to read it, they'll get some information, especially about the Audit and Risk Committee and how well it's functioning. Not just because I'm a member of it, but there are, there's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes, not just at formal council meetings, and that shows you what we're doing.
Thank you, Councillor Potter.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. Just supporting Councillor Howard as a mover. I think there's good information in here for the public, and encourage them to have a look. Indicates what councils are doing, and as Councillor Howard said, particular interest is the results of the Audit and Risk Committee.
Thank you, Councillor. Any other councillor? No. Have a motion before us. We'll now put it to a vote. All those in favour? Councillor Potter, Councillor Buchanan, Councillor Douche, Councillor McCrickard, Councillor Hodgell, Councillor Howard, Councillor Schramm. Carried 7-0. Thanks, councillors. Is any urgent business? No. Thank you, councillors. Thank you to everyone in the gallery. That concludes the council meeting in the Colac Otway Shire. I declare this meeting closed at 1:42 p.m. Thank you.